I have Dollop tour dates to announce for the year 2024 of our Lord J-Town. We have our 10th anniversary show coming up in Los Angeles on April 27th. Guests are Karen Kilgariff and James Adomian. And then we are going to Australia, starting on May 13th in Perth, May 16th in Sydney, May 18th in Brisbane, May 20th in Canberra, May 22nd in Melbourne, and May 24th in Adelaide. You can get your tickets at dolloppodcast.com.
Premier Members Credit Union is like a community garden where your neighborhood and savings bloom from give-back programs and low rates, like mortgages that can plant you in your dream home. Premier Members Credit Union. Join us at becomepremier.com. Terms and conditions apply. Federally insured by the NCUA. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 416701.
Oh, you are listening to a very problem-heavy episode of The Dollop. This is a bi-weekly American history podcast. Each week, I tell a story to my friend
Gareth Reynolds, who has no idea what the topic is going to be about.
But he knows where to go to get an SD card when the Zoom suddenly doesn't recognize your old one.
It is the first Dollop field trip.
God, do you want to hit a dude?
I'll do one bottle.
People say this is funny.
Not Gary Gareth.
Dave, okay.
Someone or something is tickling people.
Is it for fun?
And this is not going to become the tickling podcast.
Okay.
You are Queen Fakey of Made Up Town.
All hail Queen Shit of Liesville.
A bunch of religious virgins go to mingle
And do what?
pray.
Hi, Gary.
No.
Nicely done, my friend. This podcast is brought to you by our sponsors on Patreon. We thank each and every one of you. You guys are awesome for helping keep
We like
this
to call them
podcast going.
Patreonites. Like patriots.
Patreonites.
Patronettes.
1873!
The smell's already bad.
Elva Zona Hester.
What?
That's a name. Someone had a baby and they named it that.
With a middle name like Zona, you're like, how do we out crazy Zona?
I mean, it's
Almost name her Elvis.
It's like straight out of a Scientology
that
book.
really, yeah.
She was born in 1873 and grew up in the Richlands, Greenbrier County, West Virginia.
Okay.
Not much is known about her childhood, but we do know Elva was born out of wedlock and was lacking one of those daddy things.
Oh, well, I'm sure that'll end up fine.
She apparently continued the cycle, having her own child out of wedlock when she was 22 years old in November 1895.
Feels like by choice.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean, you know how this shit goes.
I do. Believe me.
Girl. But, obviously it's going to be hard at that time, 1873, when you've had a kid out of wedlock to find a dude.
Yeah, or to not get glared at on the street.
But she did.
She found a dude.
She fell in love.
That's good.
The next October, Elva was working in the shop of James Crookshanks in Greenbrier. His name was Crookshanks.
What's happening? She wanted to be Elva Crookshanks real bad?
No, it's not him. She didn't fall in love with him.
Okay.
But I just had to put his name in there because.
Well, that just sounds like a prison gang. We're the Crookshanks. Don't you cross the Crookshanks.
So she's working in the shop and she met. Okay, here we go.
What is happening?
Erasmus.
What the fuck?
I'm not even close to done. Erasmus Stribbing Trout Shoe.
Stop. Dave. Remember when I thought Erasmus was crazy? That's before I found out Trout Shoe was the end.
Stribbing Trout Shoe.
Erasmus Stribbing Trout Shoe.
People called him Edward.
Why? How did that happen?
What, Edward?
No.
The name? I think he just came out and everyone was like, well, fuck this one. Let's ruin him.
But is that really... so just back... Okay.
I guess you just made up the craziest things you could.
But would other people on the street be like, that name's crazy? Or would they be
no,
like,
I think...
to see you, Erasmus.
Well, hello, Erasmus Stribbing Trout Shoe.
Have you met Salmon Slipper?
So pretty normal names. So now she was 23 and he was 35, older man. Which is going to happen when you don't have a daddy. Come on.
That's true.
It was lightning bolt stuff. Instant love. And what wasn't to love? At this point, Edward Shue, as I'm going to call him,
Oh, good.
was working as a blacksmith in town trying to start over. He was a drifter, widowed, and divorced.
Different women?
19th
He
century
didn't just
trifecta.
like say to his dead wife, like, that's it, I'm out of this. That's a deal breaker for me.
When you die, I
out.
have had enough.
I'd like to file for divorce. My wife died.
Well, excuse me?
I'd like to leave my dead wife.
You don't have to. She is...
Listen, you don't understand. There's tension.
Okay, fair.
We don't communicate anymore.
She's dead.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It feels like that a lot of the time.
Just give him the...
And the sex? Don't even get me started on the sex.
We approve the divorce. We don't want to hear it anymore.
Sex is just, it's talk about a cold fish.
I don't want to be here.
It's disgusting.
I'm putting a gun in my mouth.
Oh, listen, you sound just like her.
In 1985, Edward married Ellen Cutlip.
I'm not even going to do it.
Nope. I mean, to be fair, though, when your last name's Cutlip, you're like, Trout Shoes, so fancy.
They had a daughter 2 years later named...
What, named Pumpkin Maze?
No, Goethe.
Oh, God.
I mean...
It's honestly too easy.
It's insane.
I don't want to just make this...
This is West Virginia. This is West Virginia. There are no rules.
Oh, Mountain Mama.
In 1888, they divorced. This happened while Edward was in jail for 2 years for stealing a horse.
I really hope she kept his name too.
Oh, God, I would hope so.
Just the craziest.
Stripping Chowchu. Gerda would be raised by Ellen's parents. So there's something that's off, right? They get a divorce and the kid is not even raised by either one of them.
Wait,
Something's fucked up.
Sorry. Okay, just because this is insane. Gerda is...
His first wife, his kid from his first marriage.
Right, okay. And neither of them raised the Gerda.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Then in 1894, Edward married Lucy Tritt. She didn't last the year, dying of unknown causes after just 8 months of matrimony. There is no record of how she died. Naturally, Elva came back to the blacksmith shop.
There we go.
Later that day after meeting him, because he was such an awesome dude.
Right.
And she told him that she was interested.
Wow, very forward.
Yeah. Her mom was not pleased.
Ooh.
His background may have been the reason Elva's mother, Mary Jane Heaster, was so opposed to their relationship. But it didn't matter. Love is love. And Edward married Elva 2 weeks later.
2 weeks?
After meeting.
I mean, to be fair, the lifespan is so much shorter.
But come on.
No, that's crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah. So what can go wrong? All went well until...
Sorry, a lot.
Oh, no. It's going to be good. This is one of the good ones. Oh. All went well until January 23rd, 1987. Edward was working in town.
1887.
Oh, yeah. It actually corrected itself in 1987.
Okay. I love how it wants it to be 1987.
Yeah.
100 years later. Things were still fine.
That can't even be... I can't even... yeah, okay. 1897. Edward was working in town, and he asked a young boy who was a neighbor of the couple to run to their home and ask Elva if she wanted anything from the market.
Okay. This is before texting.
Yep. The lad did, and when he entered the home, he found Elva laying at the bottom of the stairs, stretched out with her feet together and one hand on her stomach. Naturally, young Andy assumed Elva was taking the world's weirdest nap at the bottom of the stairs. He yelled to her, but
she wasn't moving.
She didn't wake up.
So she's right. Okay.
He thought she was napping at the bottom of the stairs.
Well, I mean, listen, he's a boy. You know, there's a bunch of, if there's blood around her, he's like, fruit punch. She's leaking fruit punch from her long nap, mister.
She wouldn't wake up, and then he ran home to tell his mom what he had seen. The mom sent for the local doctor, George Knapp. When Dr. Knapp got there, about an hour later, Edward Trout Shoe was already there, and he had moved Elva's body upstairs to the bedroom, and he had washed it. What?
Look, I've watched Forensic Files, and that's a big old red flag.
What are you talking about?
Well, washing a dead body is strange.
Grief does really weird things.
I don't know. Maybe I'll just wash the death off of her. Wake up, baby.
and she was already prepared for burial.
Whoa. This is an
hour in.
That's not up to him to do.
Edward had placed her in a high-necked dress with a stiff collar and put a veil over her face. This was a bit odd because the duty of preparing the body for burial was usually done by women in the community.
Well, not the yeah. The first. I mean, honestly, how fast are you over it?
Got to get it ready, man.
Yeah.
Got to get it ready.
Oh my God, my sweet Elva! Ooh, this will really look nice underground.
How about this veil?
Ooh, this will really tie it all together.
Dr. Knapp got to work and he tried to examine Elva around the head and neck. He noticed a little bruising. Edward flipped out. He kept cradling her head, crying and throwing a fit whenever Dr. Knapp moved toward her neck area.
Okay.
None of these are red flags, by the way.
No.
The doctor finally gave up and cut the examination short.
But anytime he's getting near the neck, he just starts wailing?
Yeah, he starts flipping out.
Yeah.
And probably pawing out.
Yeah. No, wait, I just realized she's gone. No, not my sweet Elva. Oh, moving over there. Anyway, do you like this dress? Oh my God, no. No, she's gone. Anyway, you guys hungry?
Look at the feet. He officially said that Elva died of everlasting faint.
What the fuck? This wasn't that long ago.
Well, back
it's not
then,
1530.
Back then, that was a nice way to say a heart attack.
Oh, okay.
But he later changed the diagnosis to complications from pregnancy because Dr. Knapp had seen Elva just a couple weeks before her death for female trouble and thought that seemed a more probable cause of death.
It sounds like maybe the baby was trying to come out of the mouth.
Yeah, specifically the neck part.
Yeah, I think that.
Babies will do that.
Also, sounds like a good doctor.
Great doctor. In truth, he had no idea how she died.
Right. Well, in truth, I think we all know that.
Mary Jane Heaster was told of her daughter's death and is reported to have said, quote, "The devil has killed her."
Interesting. Lots of good theories being floated. It's hard to pick a winner here. There's so many ponies to like.
On January 24th, Elva was buried in the local cemetery. Edward was very protective of his dead wife, always sitting at the head of the open coffin no matter where it went. Her body was laid out at Mary's house, and people started to notice Edward was acting a bit odd.
Now they're noticing. Okay. So he's okay.
It was said he would switch from being overwhelmed by grief to suddenly having incredible energy.
What? Oh, no. We should go hiking. Anyone want to go to the park? Maybe throw the ball around for her? She's gone. She's gone. Push-ups. Push-ups.
Yet the whole time, he didn't let anyone near her and would become very animated if anyone tried to get close. He just sat above her, holding a pillow to one side of her head and a rolled-up sheet on the other side.
Honestly, somebody has to do something.
This is the worst case of CSI that has ever
what is
ever been.
Pillow?
This is the most terrible episode.
And a sheet? Why not two pillows? If I'm going to devil's advocate this shit.
I don't know if they had two pillows.
We're a one-pillow household. Two pillows, fancy pants.
He told everyone that these two things would help her rest easier.
I think the death did that, right?
Then Edward put a large scarf around her neck and cried as he told all those present that it was her favorite.
Does she love this scarf?
This big giant scarf.
Cover it up, wrap it around a few times, just right over the neck area, right over that bruising. God, she loved it. She loved it, my Elva. We should go running. Anyone want to go to the beach for a run?
I would love to see that. This guy.
Come on, huh? Come on. Hey, let's sing. Let's sit around and sing some songs.
You guys want to... I can play the tuba.
Who wants to see a tuba playing?
But when the body was moved from the house to the cemetery, more than one person noticed Elva's head was a bit more loose than it should have been.
Sweet mother of God, her head is off. You, right?
It's a bit loose.
It's off.
It's just a bit loose.
This woman has been decapitated.
No. Then she was buried.
Okay. You realize what you've created.
I know.
Over here, I'm like, no.
It's so sad you go to the worst case scenario no matter what I'm talking about.
Well, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I've done that. You told me stories about people eating other people's hearts.
Did I break you?
Yeah, I'm broken, baby.
Mary Jane was not buying the official cause of her daughter's death. She never liked Edward, and she thought he had killed her. But because there wasn't any actual direct evidence... if you just look at the fucking body, there might be.
A lot of evidence. I think there's only evidence.
It seems like there's a lot of evidence. Just look at her neck, I think.
Yep.
Just someone take a look at the neck.
Look at him, the way he's acting. I think there's evidence.
How about a wobbly neck?
Yeah, wobbly neck, crazy husband, doing burpees over the funeral.
Elva was put into the ground, and the matter was considered closed.
Just like the casket.
Well done.
Thank you.
But Mary Jane wasn't done. And she was given some pretty serious signs of foul play.
Okay.
First, she said she took the sheet from inside the coffin and tried to give it back to Edward. Now, I just assume that this is a time when there weren't a lot of sheets. Sheets were hard to come by.
Sure.
So you didn't leave it in the coffin.
Sure. You could go donate it to the local Grand Wizard.
So... Now, I have like a blanket in my house, and if my dog gets on it, it smells pretty bad.
Right. Okay.
I think we all understand what I'm saying.
So you're saying that this sheet is...
I'm saying it's not a fresh sheet.
Right. Got the odor of death upon it.
Edward decided to pass on taking the sheet.
Well, finally, something that I understand.
So Mary Jane took it, and she noticed it had an odd odor.
Oh, boy.
That's the odor of her daughter's body.
Right, yeah.
She washed it, and when she did, the water in the basin turned red.
Oh.
Then it turned pink, then it cleared. But a stain in the sheet would not go away. Mary Jane took this as evidence that her daughter had indeed been murdered.
I am very confused, Dave.
You should be, because that sounds like a bunch of fucking horse shit.
But I mean, how, like, a sheet...
Well, we're taking her word for it.
All right, that helps.
She then decided to pray and pray and pray.
Smart.
She prayed for her daughter to appear as a ghost and tell her how she had died.
You might want to... I think baby steps.
Uh-huh.
Maybe, try for... Maybe, like, blow that candle out. Start there. Don't just go with the home run right away.
No, come straight in.
Appear and tell me who killed you.
Talk to me.
Hurry!
She prayed for a month, and then, lo and behold, the ghost of Elva Shue did appear.
Elva Shue.
Elva Shue. Elva Trout Shue?
Worse.
The ghost appeared for 4 nights in a row.
Well, I mean,
so
if you're
she's
doing
in.
a weekend.
Yeah. But if you got a gig.
Well, yeah, you're gigging.
I'm doing 4 nights at Mary's house.
I'll actually, this weekend, I'll be appearing at my mother's house whole weekend, 4 nights in a row. I'm going to be doing the blood sheet stuff.
Each time, Ghost Elva told Mary Jane that Edward had killed her by choking her and breaking her neck. This happened because she hadn't cooked any meat for dinner.
Oh, my God.
Okay, now I'm on his side.
Yeah, of course you are.
Okay, so...
Well, context.
Yep.
Something.
Now we have
We have a motive.
We have a clear motive.
We have our meat motive.
She also said Edward was cruel and beat her often. When Ghost Elva left, she would turn her head around so it was facing backwards.
Well,
it's a great thing to do to your mom.
And also, I think that's a little unfair because she is a ghost at this point.
True.
I think you can do things like that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that doesn't go like, look how broken it is. Woo! Look at that.
But,
watch it again. Woo! Look, I'm gonna do like a siren.
Can you?
Woo!
It's not as.
Woo!
Yeah, actually, it's not as scary.
Look at that.
When you're doing the siren. Okay.
Huh?
Worst ghost
Where am I
ever.
going? I'm here.
Have you seen Worst Ghosts Ever on
Hey, look at
Sci-Fi?
this.
On
Look at
Sci-Fi
that. Hey,
Channel?
what's behind me? Whoa, which way's forward? Which way's forward? Huh? Mama.
I just want to sleep.
All right, I'll come back tomorrow.
But Mary took the head turning around as proof of a broken neck.
Right. Well,
Not that ghosts don't have bones or anything.
For sure. I mean, look, logic is really in play here.
Yeah. I guess it took 4 nights in a row of questioning the ghost before Mary Jane was satisfied that she had the story straight, because that's when she went to see the local prosecutor.
Elva must have been like, do I need to keep doing... Mom!
How many? How many?
Mom!
How many?
Go fucking tell him.
You fucking asked me to come. I'm a ghost. I'm here.
I told you everything.
I will see you tomorrow.
God damn it.
So Mary Jane goes to the local prosecutor, John Alfred. He was naturally a little bit skeptical.
Does he know about the head thing?
Or the bloody sheet?
Yeah, I think we've got some stuff.
But Mary Jane sat in his office for hours trying to convince him until he was like, fuck, okay, lady.
Shut the
fuck up. I will check into it if you just shut your fucking mouth.
Okay.
So he started questioning people around town. He heard about the head being a bit wobbly at the funeral, at the wake, and Edward's strange behavior.
Sure.
And he found out that Edward had kept Dr. Knapp from fully examining the body after seeing bruises on the neck.
Right.
So the prosecutor, Alfred, decided to reopen the case. Reopening the case meant reopening the casket.
Yep, exhume it.
Alfred ordered the body exhumed. Edward Troutshoe was very against this.
No,
I don't see why you would do that. Why would you do
You can't do it. I'll start grieving again. I'll start grieving. I'm going to climb this tree. Watch me climb this tree. I'm going to get to the top.
Okay, one thing, you can do it, but I get to cradle her head with a pillow and a rolled up sheet.
You can examine her as long as I can put 2 sheets between her head.
I get to be under the head. You can examine the rest.
Okay.
Against his strong objections, the body was dug up and an autopsy was performed. Upon first inspection, everything looked pretty normal until they got to the neck.
What the fuck were they doing on other spots?
They had looking the whole thing over.
All right, well, it doesn't look like her feet are broken.
Her bottom looks good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, right, the neck.
The doctor made a cut along the back of her neck, the back of her head and neck, and discovered her neck was broken, and the first and second vertebrae. Also, her windpipe was crushed, and there were fingerprints on her neck. It seems pretty obvious that someone killed her at this point.
I'm waiting for some evidence.
How did we miss this?
Well.
Oh, we forgot to look at her.
Oh, that's right. We just gave up because he was being a prick.
It was declared that she had been the victim of murder, and it seemed pretty obvious who the murderer was. But Alfred was still lacking evidence to connect Edward to the actual crime. But he did arrest him so he wouldn't flee.
Okay.
Alfred went to talk to Edward Shoe's first wife, Ellen Cutlip. Cutlip told Alfred that she had been beaten by Edward and he was extremely violent.
Well, this is all piling up pretty poorly.
Her name is Cutlip.
Yep, that's right. Yep.
Okay.
Wasn't before she met him, though.
His second wife, Black Eye Sally.
And I just fell down some stairs, Eleanor.
Alfred also looked into Edward's second marriage, which ended in a mysterious death. Meanwhile, waiting in prison, Edward was bragging to his fellow prisoners that he was going to get married 7 times during his life and told reporters there wasn't any evidence against him, so he wouldn't be convicted.
Maybe a little too confident.
A little, I said,
cocky.
Dial down the cocky a little bit.
Yeah, I think go back to that those emotional swings. I think that erratic behavior says grieving more than, man, when I get out of here, I'm going to fucking marry 5 more women.
No, 4.
4 more women.
Done
3 more women. Point is, I ain't done.
The trial began, but it was going to be a rough one with the lack of direct evidence. The prosecutor knew it would be pretty hard to bring up a finger-pointing ghost because the courts didn't allow ghost testimony as admissible.
Well, this was before Ghostbusters, obviously, when...
So the prosecutor decided not to bring up the ghost stuff. The trial went on for 8 days. The prosecutors made the case to the jury with circumstantial evidence. Edward took the stand in his defense, and he did not do himself any favors.
Oh, boy.
He rambled through cross-examination. The Greenbrier Independent said, quote, his testimony, manner, and so forth made an unfavorable impression on the spectators.
This feels like making a murder a little bit.
But the defense was still keen to have a go at this ghost.
No. What are you talking about? I don't understand. I thought that was like a footnote. What do you mean? They're like, are they there? Somebody is trying to call a ghost to the stand?
The defense attorney, William Rucker, questioned Mary Jane when he cross-examined her on the stand about the ghost. He wanted to make her seem crazy and therefore invalidate all of her testimony.
Oh, well, that's not going to be too hard.
But that's not the way it went down.
Oh, boy.
Mary Jane totally held her own. She told her ghost story with such confidence that the jury completely bought it.
Oh, my God.
Rucker quickly stopped questioning her as he realized she wasn't looking crazy at all.
How is she not looking crazy at all?
It's the 1890s.
Oh my God.
People are like, yeah, of course she talked to a ghost.
Interesting. Well, it sounds like this ghost was pretty consistent on those 4 nights. Really stuck to what the ghost was saying.
I mean, the ghost came 4 times.
You know,
so
I was skeptical until I heard about the rotating head.
I didn't believe it until the 3rd ghost visit, and then I was like, well, this ghost is serious. This is a serious ghost.
I agree. Anytime a ghost shows up 3 times, you know it's real.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, since the defense had brought up the ghost instead of the prosecutor, the judge ruled to allow the ghost testimony, as it were.
Can you imagine?
So the jury got to deliberate on a conversation between an old woman and a ghost.
This does sound like how they handled it in Manitowoc, Wisconsin. I mean, the judge, like, you must, as a like, you must be sitting there going like, well, the good news is the judge isn't out of his mind. I'm sorry, did he just say that was admissible?
The prosecutor had 0 objections to using the ghost testimony.
Oh, my God.
Edward Shue was convicted of murdering Elva Hester Shue and sentenced to life in prison based on the testimony of a ghost. That wasn't enough for the townsfolk. A lynch mob formed and prepared to break into the jail and hang Edward. But a snitch told the sheriff what was happening, and he hurried Edward out and hid him in the forest.
Oh, Jesus.
That part I don't get at all. Yeah, I don't understand what's happening. I mean, he must have locked him to a tree. He must have handcuffed him to a tree.
Go and Frank him or something.
But you just can't just, okay, stay here, buddy.
All right.
Stay here.
I'll remember this tree. We'll be back tomorrow.
I put breadcrumbs down. I'll be back.
Oh, shit. Someone ate the breadcrumbs. All right. Look, good luck, man.
And then the sheriff went back, confronted the mob, and talked them into putting down their weapons and going home.
Everything that's happening is opposite of what I would think would happen. An angry mob ready to murder being like, no, you make a good point.
Okay, that's a fine.
You make a good point. You know, honest to God, we got fired up back there. We really did.
Yeah.
We kinda lost our cool.
But I gotta be honest, you make a good point. We weren't thinking about ghost justice.
Yeah, that's true. We hadn't actually thought about the ghost justice yet.
So he's gonna get his on the other side.
Yeah, for sure. When he goes to ghost court. Yeah. And then he'll go to ghost jail.
On July 13th, 1897, Edward Shue entered the state penitentiary in Moundsville, West Virginia. He died there just under 3 years later when an unknown epidemic swept through the prison. The ghost of Elvra Zona Haster was never seen again. It is the, It is the only known case in U.S. law in which a ghost testimony was used to help convict a criminal.
Oh, my God. Well, you're forgetting about Ghostbusters, too. But I love how the ghost was never seen again.
Yeah.
Because I think I know why, Dave.
Why?
I don't think the ghost was seen ever.
Oh, come on, 4 times.
Well, I think 4 times is a case for insanity.
I don't know. You see ghosts all the time on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Do you think that? I mean, our jury system is pretty flawed.
I don't see how it's any different today than it was back then.
I see minor differences.
I think today you could have someone say that they talked to a ghost and people would convict them.
In the right state.
Wisconsin, we're talking about.
Oh, boy. Well, you think making a murder is a fucked up trial, then you hear about Elva Troutshoe's testimony.
Oh, shit. All right, well, ghost out.
Yeah, that is that's a normal
thing that just happened.
We sign cars.
Yeah, we do sign cars.
Oh, yes, it's Gareth. Not Gary, stop it. Gare Force, listen, I've got a bunch of stand-up shows coming up, and I want to see you there. We can hug. I will be at Rooster Teeth Feathers in Sunnyvale, California, April 18th, 19th, and 20th. Then I will be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, June 18th. I will be at Nashville at Zanies, June 19th. I will be in Huntsville, Alabama, June 20th. I'll be in Atlanta, Georgia, June 21st, June 22nd. Then I will be in Pottstown, Pennsylvania, June 26th. Then I'll be in East Providence, Rhode Island, June 27th. Then I'll be in Boston, Massachusetts, and Boston, June 28th. That's 2 shows. I will be in Springfield, Massachusetts, June 29th, Rochester, New York, June 30th, and then July 5th through the 6th. Canada, I've heard your prayers, and I will answer them. I will be in Toronto. So come join me at the Comedy Bar. Go to GarethReynolds.com for tickets and information. That's right, Gareth Force. We're calling you up. It's the big time. The big leagues. This went poorly.
What if you could find a home with the innovations of the future right now? With access to culture and everything else the city offers in the historic Loretto Heights neighborhood. ThriveHomebuilders.com. Homes of tomorrow, here today.